Hello everybody and welcome in. We're all doing shut the audio off my other PC here, bear with me. Alright, so we are back, ladies and gentlemen, for our normal Saturday afternoon entertainment here from the GTRC, the Gran Turismo Racing Community, and our GR4 Drivetrain Championship. So, this is a unique championship. It is a Group 4 championship this season, but each round has a designated drivetrain of car that needs to be used. So, in the early part of the season, I believe we were doing the mid-engine rear wheel drive cars. Now, at this portion of the season, as we're entering the midway part of the GT4 championship here, we are running the all-wheel drive Group 4s here this weekend. So, the only cars allowed on the grid are going to be cars that are considered all-wheel drive cars. So we'll see cars like the Lamborghini, the Alfa Romeo 4C, the GTR, all-wheel drive cars. I believe that the Genesis is also a all-wheel drive car in the Group 4 class. So we'll see 4 or 5 different versions of all-wheel drive Group 4 racing cars here this weekend, and it is, I believe, a 1-hour event, and I believe that hards and mediums are the required tires for the championship, if I'm not mistaken. And it is 2 times fuel and 2 times tire, I think, as well for the championship series. So we haven't been able to broadcast many of the races this season for the Gran Turismo Racing Community, just due to other things that we had going on with the endurance championships and racing in the endurance championships and things, just scheduling conflicts. So all that is wrapped up for the 2025 season. So we are finally able to get back and get to the GTRC community here and get some of that live racing action back out to everybody. So welcome in. I'm your host for today, GT45 Gaming, and we are officially streaming on the new streaming PC provided to GT45 Gaming from the Winner's Circle community. So this is a community donated machine. The community donated money towards the GT45 Gaming donation page towards the new PC, and we just acquired that new PC about 2.5 weeks ago here. So we're still working out and fine-tuning the stream and tweaking audios and things like that. So if there is something wrong or something that you think needs to be adjusted, just let us know in the chat there, and we will we'll make those adjustments on the fly for everybody. Alright, so where are we at here? We are about 4 minutes out from qualifying start. Now, the Gran Turismo Racing community does qualifying a little bit differently than most organizations do. They come out with a designated amount of hot laps. I'm assuming it's going to be 2 or 3 hot laps here today for this particular racetrack, and then they will park at the end of turn number 1 off the racetrack, not to interfere with other drivers that still may be qualifying. From there, it is grid order set by fastest first, and then they will start the race from there. This is Maggiore full course. This is the GP circuit here. This is a made-up circuit via Gran Turismo 7 and Polyphony Digital. It's a great racetrack. It was in GT Sport, it was in GT6, I believe 5 as well. It's a very racing, flowing racetrack. It also runs great in both directions, as the Alpha absolutely loses it around this big, hard right-hander here. That's a tricky corner. You're coming downhill, you're on camber coming down the hill, but then in the braking zone, the camber shifts to off camber, and then the corner kind of flattens out, and that's why we've seen that Alpha Romeo driven by petrol there, going a little bit sideways there. He just got too hard on the brakes into the mid part of the corner there, and when it went to the off-camber part of the corner, it just threw the car sideways there. So the drivers are going to have to be aware of that here today in these all-wheel drives. The all-wheel drive cars drive extremely well in the rain, and they do fairly well in the dry conditions too, but they tend to be a little bit understeery and pushy in corner exits and corner entries with the all-wheel drive cars in the dry conditions. So the drivers are going to have their hands full here today for sure. Our current championship points leader is Ishmael here from Loose Moose Racing. We've got Team Rad's UU here in second place. We've got Team Rad's Hair Razor third in practice here. We've got Petrolhead from Team Rad, they're fourth out in practice. We've got Doug Barrow from Team Rad there as well. We've got Bar from 1010 Sim Racing. We've got Tap from independent driver. He's an independent driver, and the man is works out in the ocean for several weeks at a time, so he doesn't get too many chances to race. So it's nice to see him here today. We've got Ruben here as well today, which is nice to see him on track. We've got TT Sheriff Doofy here as well, and we've got, I'm not sure who this is. This is a new driver to me. And we still have a couple. Oh, it's Mike 1972. That's not a new driver. I just couldn't read the name for some reason. I believe we have a couple other drivers still sitting in the lobby that I haven't checked in yet as well. So I think we have 11 or 12 cars here on grid today as well. So nice, good, healthy grid here for the Group 4s. All right, so I'm just going to check on everything. Looks like everything's working fairly well here. So we're just in free practice here right now. They're in a driver's briefing right now. They're going over the rules and expectations of the race and behind the scenes with race control right now. And once that session is finished up here, we will see a race start here today as well. So, or a qualifying start anyways. Just trying to untangle some cords here and everything. Got a lot going on this morning. We're rushing a little bit to get live on time here, but we managed to make it. Alright, so how's everybody doing? You know, I've been a little bit frustrated and upset with GT7 lately as a content creator and a racer. We've had a couple of new sims recently get released, 3 as a matter of fact recently get released, all in their own various forms and states. But I can tell you one thing, what I do appreciate about GT7, and that is the absolute beautiful graphics, the spectator mode that they do provide to us. And as a league organizer and a commentator, a sim racing commentator, I definitely appreciate a good quality spectator mode. And the one thing that Gran Turismo most certainly has is an absolutely beautiful spectator mode and great graphics. So I mean, the game is great, don't get me wrong. I love Gran Turismo. I've been playing Gran Turismo since day one. I've been with this franchise for its entirety. Absolutely love the game, but as a competitive racer, it definitely has its downsides, and it has its upsides, just like any other game, right? So we're glad to be back. We're glad to be in this great spectator mode here with GT7 today, and hopefully we get a good, juicy race on our hands here from the GTRC community. It has been a while since we've broadcast for our friends here at GTRC, so we don't even know what to expect. We don't even know what to expect. Alright, so we do have 12 racers here today in the grid, so absolutely fantastic stuff. Fantasticness. How's everybody's Thanksgiving going? Happy Thanksgiving to our American friends down south there as well. Totally meant to lead off with that here today, but we let it slip our minds as we got into the racing business. of the semi-details of the race. I'm a little bit out of the loop here when it comes to the Gran Turismo racing community this season. It's going to take me a couple of weeks to get back into the rhythm of what they got going on here, so I'm kind of just poking off of information available to me on the Discord server right now to really kind of home in everything that's going on for everybody here. So, but like I said, I believe it is hard tire and medium tire requirements here in the race. It could very well be all three, but without having the immediate championship rules right in front of me, I can't officially for sure say, but it does say required tire type racing hard and racing medium up above on the screen there, so we were right with our assessment there. So we will see the drivers use at least the hard and medium tires in the race here today. So that tells me we're probably going to see a one-stop style race here today. It's going to really come down to fuel probably, and when you make that pit window, the medium tires at 2 times fuel around Maggiore, you should be able to get a solid 20 minutes out of them, I think, before they really start to fall off. That's just a guesstimate, an educated guess, call it, from the commentator here. You know, basing it off of what my championship fuel and tire wear is, and the type of racetrack it is. You know, we get about 15, maybe 12 to 15 good minutes of tire laps out of those settings. So we just take those down one multiplier, adds about 5 to 7 minutes to the soft tires. So just like I said, educated guess. Oh, it looks like we're started here now, so I think we can get this map here now. I was waiting for drivers to get on track here. So this is officially qualifying. So like I said, they do things a little bit differently here at the Gran Turismo racing community. They run a free lap range qualifying session. Essentially, it is a designated amount of hot laps, so they'll have an out lap and 2 or 3 hot laps for this racetrack, if I had to guess. And then we'll see the drivers start to park at the end of turn number 1 off the racetrack until all 12 of our races have finished their designated amount of hot laps for qualifying, and then the grid gets set based off of fastest first to slowest last. Alright, so it is Doug Burrow first out on track at qualifying, with Tab out second. We got Barr out third, with Ruben out in fourth. We've got Yu here in fifth. We've got Ishmael out in sixth. Rad is out on track in seventh currently here. Mike is in eighth. Sheriff is in ninth out track. We got Hairraiser 10th on track. Supra 11th on track, and apparently we only have 11 racers. S2 is not racing, I guess. She's a good racer, I'm shocked. Sit with Doug Burrow here, as he's our lead car out in qualifying here. He's going to be the first one to set a hot lap time here around Maggiore today, and we're just going to have to wait and see what all the drivers got. Now in the Group 4 cars, I believe we're looking at 204s, 205s. I think we should be seeing for times here from these guys, maybe just under 2 minutes, somewhere in that mark. Typically they're about 8 to 10 seconds slower than the Group 3 cars here, so it's really going to come down to the pace of the drivers, but somewhere between 2 minutes and 2 minute 5 second, I think we'll be seeing those lap times coming in here today. On the faster end of the lap times anyways. Alright, so it's 2:08 as Doug comes across there. Tap is going to take that pole position away. Barr is going to sit in third place on his first crack here. Ruben there stays in fourth place. For some reason drops down in fifth. Must have been avoided the lap. Yu moves up into P2. Ishmael up into fourth place. Trying to keep up with it here, but it won't let me. We got Petrol in fifth place. There we go. We got Mike coming across the start-finish line here. He is going to come across, staying in seventh place, it looks like. Sheriff moves up into somewhere between fifth and seventh place there. We got Hairraiser coming through here now in the Paul Walker GTR. He's going to move up into eighth position. Mike 1972. Super, pardon me, last car to come through here, and he stays in P11 there. So, wow, Gran Turismo did not not let my keyboard work very efficiently for me there. So it is Sheriff Doofy currently sitting in pole position, with Tap sitting in second place. It's you in third. We got Doug provisionally in fourth place with our championship points leader provisionally in fifth. We've got Petrol here in sixth place with Bar in seventh, Hair Razor in eighth, Mike 1972 in ninth. We've got Ruben here in 10th place. We've got Supra here in 11th. Alright, so rocking, rolling. 2:07.973. So my estimation on the times is a little bit off. Now, in the Group 3 cars, you used to be able to get about 55, 1 minute 55, 1 minute 56 laps here. But of course, as the game always makes its changes and updates and balance performance changes and all these things, it does change the effective lap times of these cars around the racetrack. So it's more along the lines of looking like the Group 3 cars at 55, and a Group 3 car is a pretty top tier time right now around maggiore based off of what we're seeing the Group 4s put in. I think a 2:06 here is going to be a pretty blazing fast time. Doug and Tap are coming around here. Somebody pinched into the wall there, and no changes for Doug or Tap there. And it looks like it's just 2 hot laps here today as the drivers are parking it here. So we got Yuyu just coming through there. Does not find an improvement. Ishmael does find an improvement there as he moves up into third position on the grid. Petrol's coming through here, does not find any more time. Bar's sitting in 7th place. We got Hair Razor still coming through here. Let's see if he can find some more time on the racetrack here as he comes around the final corner. You got to have a Paul Walker GTR on track. I mean, that's just right. It is an improvement there, but it only moves him up 1 position, it looks like. So I think it's just Supra left here now. Ruben, pardon me. So Supra did move up into P10 as he came around there. And looks like it's going to be 10-10 Sheriff Doofy to take pole position here today, with Tap lined up right beside him. It'll be Ishmael and Yuyu in row number 2. Row number 3 will be Doug and Petrolhead. In row number 4 will be Bar and Hair Razor. And in row number 5 will be Mike 1972 and Supra. And in row number 6 will be Ruben. Alright, so now we'll see drivers go in, change their tires, stuff like that, get ready for race start. There'll be a couple of minutes delay here now for the race start. So again, it'll be a 60-minute race, and it will be hard and medium tires required in the race here today. So we will probably see the majority of the field, if not the whole field, start on that hard racing tire here today, and then we'll probably see them transition over to that medium tire. And I don't foresee a reverse style strategy really working that well here, because you're looking at about 35 to 40 minutes on the hard racing tire, and then you're going to be looking at about a 20 to 25 minute run on the medium tires. So I don't know if you're going to be able to build a big enough gap on the medium tire, on the hard tire with the medium tire in 25 minutes to negate the medium tires at the end of the race on lower fuel, to hold off the charge of a potential battle brewing from behind. So I think that the hard tires are probably the right call here at the beginning of the race for this particular race, and I guess we'll have to wait and see what the drivers opt to do, but there's always one or two that like to be different, so we'll wait and see what the drivers opt to do here. You guys will be able to see all that information. We're not hiding that. We're just getting race control here to kick things off here. So that means next weekend is the Miata series here from the GTRC, and as long as we have a good, healthy amount of racers in the grid, we'll be back live again next weekend as well. So should have our GTRC content fairly regularly here now moving forward again. The steering wheel's making a lot of noise to move there. Suppose we could just unplug it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's go racing. Drivers are lined up, and we're going to see 5 red lights, and then it will go green. When those lights go green, the drivers can leave their positions. We are green, green, green. Kick them tires, light them fires. We're going racing. Tap gets a good race launch very early on here in the race, and we're going to go 3-4 wide here, heading into turns 1 and 2 here. This is always a spicy race start here at Maggiore, as you get bottlenecked immediately heading into turn 1 and 2. As it's a very hard chicane here, so looks like everybody makes it through fairly clean here. Tap does get away in first place there. Sheriff is now defending against our championship points leader here, Ishmael, and everybody else is kind of single filed in behind. It looks like we got a move in the back end there from Mike on bar as well. Alright, so Sheriff is still defending here. He's got Doug up the inside, but GTR gets a great run up the hill there and dusts that. I believe Subaru. I'm not sure what Doug's driving there. Ishmael here also in the GTR. I mean, I'd be in the GTR as well. Car class. That's definitely what I would be driving today. We got Doug Burrow here in 4th place. He is in the Mitsubishi. We got Yu here in the what looks like the Subaru WRX. We got Petrolhead here in the Subaru as well. Ruben is in the GTR as well as Supra as well as Hair Razor, and now filtering himself all the way down to the back here, so he is currently sitting in last place. He's going to settle in behind Hair Razor and Supra. So back to the front of the field here, and that is an official clean race start here, and race is now official. I'm going to shut that wheel off. It just seems to be getting louder as I'm talking. That thing was getting quite noisy. I don't know if you guys could hear it, but it definitely was driving me, so. Alright, so Tap in the early race lead. A half-second penalty here for Tap on the racetrack. We've got Sheriff here in the 2nd position. Ishmael here Doug in 4th position. Petrol and Yu back in turn 1 and 2. Petrolhead is going to get the position there on Yu. Move himself up into 5th place. That puts Yu down into P6, and now Yu is on fire here from Mike 1972 here in 7th position. So just being behind there as well. Ruben settled just in behind Supra there with Hair Razor in tow, and just off the back of those guys with a half-second track limit penalty. That's definitely not ideal, as that's going to take him out of the slipstream of the pack there, so he's going to have a little bit of work to do to catch back up to the pack here, but it is an hour-long race. They got a long ways to go yet, and a half-second track limit penalty there for a race leader will allow the rest of the pack to close in a little bit of time. Based off of where the penalty serving zone here is probably going to be about a 3/4 second time loss for Tap on that half-second penalty, so it could be worse, but there's definitely tracks that cost you more time on a half-second than Maggiore does. I mean, you're going downhill at Maggiore at some point after a certain penalty, so you're able to kind of maintain or regain that race pace a little bit quicker than most racetracks, so that's why it doesn't quite hit the time as much here at Maggiore, say, as compared to Spa or Suzuka or something like that, where the penalty serving zone is right in the top end of a momentum zone. You're kind of just starting to build your momentum heading downhill there, so you lose, 50 or 60 miles per hour, but then you're going back downhill and you gain that 50 or 60 miles per hour back quicker because you're going downhill. So there's Doug now defending here against Petrolhead here, and Petrol the Alfa Romeo 155 here, trying to give the beans to that Mitsubishi up in front here by Doug Burrow. Just settled in behind there in 6th place, and Mike 1972 still settled in behind her there. And it's just a single file racing here. The whole pack still on that same front straight, basically, with the exception of our 2 race leaders here, Tap and Sheriff and Ishmael have kind of started to break away from the pack a little bit here, but not a huge significant amount here, still less than just over 2 seconds are apart here. So Petrol here is tucked in behind, back in. That's also allowing Mike 1972 to look back in on this fight here as well. This is becoming a 4-way battle for 4th place here right now, so we're going to sit with this for a moment. Petrol did take a look up the inside there, heading into the right-hander. He catches a little bit of grass there, but he manages to recover it quite well, doesn't lose too much pace there, and he stays fairly close in behind the Mitsubishi and Doug here. Can't stay but pop in to like and share and say hi. I always appreciate the film. You love you, brother. Goose for Hubba, my man. Goose for Hubba. Alright, so Petrol and Doug are starting to kind of run away a little bit from UU and Mike 1972 here. So Mike and UU are kind of in their own little battle here now, as Doug and Petrol are also in their own battle. Doug on the defense there, and Petrol continues to look for a hole or just clean air. Oof, a big slide coming there from Petrol as he is really looking hard for a way around the Mitsubishi and Doug here right now. And all it's done is brought UU back into the fight here up there. This is a spicy battle we got here going on for 4th through 8th place, basically. 17th. Got a little battle happening in the background there between Supra and whoever it is in behind Supra there as well. I believe it could be Hair Razor. I think that was the silver car we saw in behind. And Petrol still trying to find a way around here, so hasn't been able to find it yet, doesn't have the answer, and it is Hair Razor here on Supra, but Supra with a half-second crackling penalty as well. That's not going to go well. Hair Razor just needs to stay close here for half a lap and should get that position for free if he doesn't battle for it beforehand. We got Ruben and Barr here battling for 10th and 11th place, so we got battles all over the racetrack here right now. We got Tap in P1, we've got Sheriff here in 2nd place, and Ishmael just chilling right in behind there in 3rd position, just 3/4 of a second in behind. And then we've got this good feisty battle here right in behind these guys with Doug, Petrol, UU, and Mike. And this is a good juicy 4-way battle. All-wheel drive cars, I mean, in your Group 4 cars in general usually make pretty good racing, so that is the case here. Pit strategies are usually what starts to separate the field here. So we're seeing the field on basically the same tire. Oh, and a big move there from Petrolhead. But Doug is going to come back underneath there and try to respond, try to get the position back side by side here between the two racers. You and Mike are just chilling in behind, watching it all go down from the row seats to the action. But Petrol just edging Doug out here as we get through the back S's. And finally, move made there by Petrolhead. That was a great little move there. He made it look like he was going to go on the high line. Doug moved up high to defend it. Petrol dipsy dude underneath of him and took the position. And then Doug responded back with a nice undercut to try and get the position back. But unfortunately, Petrol had just a little bit more steam there. And we got some door banging going on here between the two drivers for sure right now. UU in there as well. Didn't see Mike up the inside and made a little bit of contact. And this is becoming a very spirited battle between the four racers right now. Alright, well, great action right here in 4th place to 7th place. I was going to say, nose to tail here. Doug trying to respond back to Petrol, who looks like he's lagging a little bit there based off of what I'm seeing. I can't hear the game audio myself, only you guys can, so that's why I always need to chat to make sure that it sounds right, because I don't absolutely hear how it sounds. Otherwise, you guys will get double audio. I don't want that. Still a great battle here. 4th place. I mean, it's hard to kind of get involved in battle right now. You just never know when it's going to start to kick off here again. So, basically, Team Rat fighting each other right now. 4th place, essentially. So let's get the check up on the field here. We've got Tap almost 3 seconds up ahead of Sheriff here at this point, and Ishmael, who's again just settling about a half second in behind Sheriff here for the time being. It doesn't seem to be too concerned about forcing a move or anything right now. He's just happy with the pace for Sheriff. He's just settling in behind, sipping some fuel, saving some tire. Try to get a jump in pit lane. 6th position. We got Mike 1972 here in 7th place. He's staying pretty cool, calm, and collected back here for the most part. Hair Racer has made his way around Supra here and is now trying to close in on this 4-way battle for 4th position. Supra is just in the tow here as well on the backside of that group. They're trying to close in as well. We've got Barr about 3 seconds in behind now ahead of Ruben, and Ruben is just tucked in about 3/4 of a second behind Barr here in the keyboard is not working 100% here today, unfortunately, so hopefully it just stays working for the rest of the race. Alright, so it is tapped, and we talked about the reverse strategy here. So a driver starting on the mediums when the rest of the field starts on the hard tires. Now, yes, it's going to make you faster at the beginning of the race, should put you out in front of the race like it has for tap, but now, like I said, you're only going to get 20 to 25 minutes of good tire usage out of these medium tires most likely here. So that means he's going to have about 30 minutes of 25 to 20 minutes of time where the guys or girls in behind him are going to be on lower fuel load on a faster tire, where he's on a full fuel load with a faster tire right now. So it's a risky strategy. It has to be perfect. You can't make any mistakes for it to work. It's still not guaranteed to work. So he's going to have the whole field in behind him when those pit stop sequences go through at about the 35-40 minute mark, that are going to be chasing him down on that slower tire, while the rest of them are on a faster tire with lower fuel load. So it's a risky strat, obviously. The hard tires can start to get quite quick once they get scrubbed in, and they'll stay quick for a while. And then when they start to fall off, that's when it gets a little bit ugly. On these cars, you're taking advantage of a mistake by Petrolhead there, and is actually going to find herself now up in 5th place. So Doug has gotten 4th place back from Petrolhead there. Yu taking advantage of that slide into the right-hander there and getting ahead of Petrolhead as well. And Mike is still just chilling in behind these guys right now, observing, monitoring, and staying in striking distance. Hair Racer and Supra now close back in on each other here again, and they have about 1.7 seconds to that 4-way battle up in front of them. So this is potentially going to start to brew into a 6-way battle. Supra's opted to pull in beside Hair Racer and try to make an offensive battle here. And as we head into the Big Bang corner here, it looks like it's a drag race. As Hair Racer holds that outside line, keeps his momentum, he still keeps Supra just out of position there from gaining that position. So Supra is still there, but he does have to tuck back in behind Hair Racer here as we head through the S's, and Hair Racer for the time being defending the position off. But that definitely cost him some time on that pack there. It cost him about a half a second just jockeying for that position through those couple of corners on that chasing pack. So I guess at what point do they decide that they're just going to fight it out for a lower position, or work together to try and get a better position? I guess we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. But especially two teammates on the same team, you'd think they'd be working together to try and catch the pack, but that doesn't seem to be the case here right now with Supra and Hair Racer. Supra was trying to make a passer, and at the end of the day, that cost him another half second back on the pack there. So we have to make decisions sometimes as a racer on the racetrack, and especially early on in the race, sometimes it's better to have a friend than an enemy, so to speak, on the racetrack. So in the position of Hair Racer and Supra right now, obviously they're fairly equal paced. I mean, it would make sense to work together, start to use slipstream for advantage. There's plenty of places on maggiore where slipstream will be advantageous over a single car, and you can start to close in that way. So I guess we'll have to wait and see if they continue to try to battle it out with each other, or if they are going to play nice and push this pack. Oof and oof. Wow, we got a whole sequence of events going on here in that right-hander. That right-hander seems to be the source of all our action here. Yu gets a nice pass down on Doug Burrow, and then shoots wide on the exit. Doug takes advantage, goes up the inside, and then Petrol tries to take advantage, comes in a hot, makes contact there with Yu, and gets the job done there. So Yu settling back into 6th place here, and that has settled the immediate pack battle down with him. That had spread the field out. Supra in 8th, we got Barr in 9th, we got Ruben in 10th. What happened to Mike? Mike made a pit stop. Looking at a potential 2-stop strategy coming from Mike 1972 here. We'll have to see how that works out for him. It could work out well. I mean, like I said, if these racers are going to sit on these hard tires for 30 or 40 minutes of this race, that two-stop strategy could potentially work. I don't know for sure, but there is a feasibility there. On a softer tire compound, 1 to 1.5 seconds a lap faster. You do have to make the extra pit stop, or it's going to cost you that pit delta. And what was the gap here? 20 seconds to the race leader. I mean, he's only 8.5 seconds off the pack after that pit stop. And they're going to have to pit one more time yet, so it could be a feasible strategy. We'll have to wait and see. Alright, Sheriff here is starting to get some pressure from Ishmael here in third place. So Ishmael has started to close the gap up a little bit, and this bumper-to-bumper action here now between Sheriff and Ishmael. And as they continue around the track here, it is the battle, or are they going to continue to work together to try and push closer to Tap in front? And I am going to say right now that Tap is not building a big enough gap for this reverse strategy to work in his favor right now. Second and third place are absolutely flying on those hard tires right here. Doing a good job of not allowing Tap to really open up that gap. And that's what they need to do, starting on the hard tires when you're against the driver on the medium tire. Because you're going to come out on the faster tire in the end of the race in a more optimal race car conditions with a lighter fuel load. So you should be able to pick that time back up on that driver in the hard tires. The question is can you do it in that 20 minutes left by the time you go and take your medium tire? So right now with only 3.4 seconds being the gap between the race leader and the second and third place, easily doable. Tap needs to really start finding some time on the racetrack against these two hard tire runners, or this strategy is not going to work in his favor here. He will definitely not hold that first place down. So nice pass there from Ishmael on Sheriff through that right-hander. Sheriff gives a little push into the S there, and again, no real immediate concern there. It seems like coming from Sheriff, that was a good, clean battle between the two. He didn't give it up, but he didn't really fight for it either, and that didn't cost him too much time there to the overall race. About a half a second transition there. So Ishmael now up into second and Sheriff down into third place. So now kind of battle between Petrol and Doug here again for fifth place. You start to close back in there in sixth place as well. And it looks like Hair Razor and Super start to close in. Super start to close in. But it is Doug Rowe and Petrol here in fourth and fifth place here. It looks like this is going to be battle re-engaged here again very shortly, potentially even into turns 1 and 2 here. We do see the roof and Petrol does show the inside line there, but Doug does have the position heading into turn 1 and 2. He doesn't really need to worry about having the car inside of him in the corner there. He just sticks to the racing line, and now it's a three-way battle here for fourth place's Rats. Yu closes in at one, drivers into the corner there as well and braking. So three different cars here too as well. We've got the Mitsubishi Evo, we've got the Alfa Romeo 155, and we've got Super WRX behind here as well. So three different cars battling for fourth place here. Petrol again going to take a look up to the inside of Doug's right now. We're seeing that Alfa Romeo struggle in this corner here so far today. And he does get a good entry there. He needs a little bit of curb that makes his car hop, and Doug also gets a little bit wrong on the exit there, which costs him some time. So Petrol just tucks right back in behind Doug, and he's just sitting there again in sixth place, just watching, observing, and waiting for an opportunity to strike himself. So nice three-way healthy battle here for fourth place right now between Doug, Petrol, and Yu. You see here right here starting to creep up there in the background as well. Nice down in the big banky. This is a great passing corner here as well. You can really send it into the corner. You can really trust that the car is going to hold pace there. All comes down in the trajectory of the exit that really matters in the big bank corner. Everybody does a pretty good job there in this three-way battle. Not losing any time to each other. Almost still nose to tail here from fourth through to sixth place. Petrol now on the outside of Doug as we head into the double hairpin here, and Petrol out wide there, and he's going to settle back in behind Doug. So Doug is still holding the charge here for fourth place. This is great news for the drivers in the back of the pack trying to chase and catch up to the front of the pack here right now, because this healthy battling that's happening here between these three drivers right now is slowing them down and allowing the rest of the pack to catch up. It's also allowing that front pack to drive away. 4 seconds in behind that battle now. We've got Supra 6 seconds in behind. We've got Bar here in 9th place. He's battling with Ruben right now for that position. Squeezes Ruben a little bit tight into the corner there. I think Ruben had to check up to avoid contact with Bar, but Ruben tucks right back in behind Bar there. And look who is in the mix here. It's Mike 1972, so he has already closed up that 8-second gap to the back side of the pack here, and is now looking to try and find his way around these two for position. Now, based off of the strategy that Mike is trying to pull here, he wants to get around these two as quickly as he possibly can, so we should expect to see Mike try to make some moves here once obviously these two finish their battle in front of him, but then Mike gets it a little bit wrong there in some overspeed, and he shoots wide. He catches some grass there, and that's going to pull him off of that battle between Bar and Ruben. Ruben does get the battle and pass done here, moves up into 9th place ahead of Bar 27. So Mike back on the charge there again after going a little bit wide. So it is tap here. He's opened the gap up now to 4.2 seconds. So he is still opening that gap up, but I really don't think that is enough here. With the pace of these two hard tire runners here in 2nd and 3rd place, they're absolutely flying on those hard tires. I mean, we're seeing 208s real consistently coming from our race leader here, and then we jump down to our hard tire runners, and they are low 209s for the most part here since the last time around. It looks like they've been maybe battling a little bit, cost each other some time, and much of the same here for Sheriff as well, some very low 209s. I mean, the pace is not that far off between that medium tire leader and then the hard tire 2nd and 3rd place drivers right now. And we did say that the hard tires can maintain some pretty good pace once they warm up and get scrubbed in. I mean, they'll stay like that for quite a while before they start to kind of lose that pace again. So we got a pit stop being made by Petrolhead here. So Petrolhead is in pit lane. So that has broken up that heavy battle that was happening between 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th place there for a while. So now this is just kind of down between Doug Barrow and Yu. Doug Barrow has a little bit of a gap on Yu. 8 tenths per second here right now as they head through the right-hander here. But Airways here in 6th place is again closing in here. It's 1.2 seconds. So he lost a little bit of time to that sector there. Super here in 7th position, goes really wide there. Probably pick him up a penalty. Ruben there is in 8th place with Bar close behind. Mike is starting to close back in again after that mistake in 10th place. Here in 11th position. So we're at the 20-minute race here. So we are going to see some interesting strategies here today. So Ishmael and Sheriff here still in 2nd, 3rd place here. Ishmael took 2nd place from Sheriff a couple laps ago there, and Sheriff is just kind of pacing Ishmael here right now. You see Sheriff taking odd lines. It looks like he's maybe looking for a pass attempt, as you see him kind of going outside and inside of the line of Ishmael. And that is not for any other purpose than just to get clean air in front of his in the front end of his car, so he can get that car to brake accordingly and get the line that he wants into the corner, so he can continue to stay close to Ishmael. And it paid off for him there. He gets a good run through the final corner, and it's now going to be a drag race to the start-finish line here. Ishmael has just a slight edge, but that is going to give Sheriff the inside track into turn 1. Ishmael's going to hold it tight though, and he is going to keep the inside track into turn number 2, and that is a healthy battle for 2nd and 3rd place right there between Sheriff and Ishmael. That is one of the more difficult sectors of the racetrack to go 2x2 in as well, so great job by these two guys here on the racetrack, showing off some skill here at the GTRC community today. Good clean battle right there between those two. Doug Barrow here in 4th place. Yu is starting to close in, and Hair Razor is creeping in the background there at 1.7 seconds, so he has nipped out 3/10 of a second on Yu here in the last lap around. Since we checked, it's exactly a lap actually, so this is where we were at the same point last time, but Yu's going to try and close in on Doug Barrow here as she comes up the hill, and good old battle of Subaru versus Mitsubishi here right now between these two cars. So it is it's always a good spicy battle. I know in SeaWorld, so I like to see them fight each other on the circuits as well. Air Razor's coming on at 1.5 seconds. The GTR is very quick as well. So I mean, if you got this thing locked in, it is a very competitive car in the 4 class. Looking here in 8th place, Mike has gotten around Mari, now working on 1.2 seconds in behind, so the charge from Mike is on. Mari here with a half-second penalty, not ideal there, and that is going to put him a bit closer here as he made an early pit stop. So it looks like it's going to be a 2-stop strategy coming from Petrolhead here as well. I don't think that the drivers are going to be able to run medium tires a whole lot further. I mean, we're at 26 minutes into the race, and we're looking at the leaders' tires here right now. They're at the point where the fall off is going to start to show. So we are going to most likely start to see the lap times slow down from the race leader, and we're probably going to start seeing second and third place start to close in a little bit on the race leader here as well. So we'll see how much longer the tap uses to stay out on those medium tires, but he is starting to give that gap back up to second and third place there. So Doug and you battling out here. You had a little bit of a run there, but not good enough to unfortunately get up in beside Doug there. So Doug is going to again come into turn 1 and 2 there without having to worry about a car in beside. Just takes the racing line, and that is going to keep him in the optimal line around the track to keep him ideally in front of his two racers. So now it is you and Hair Razor that are closed up. This is now again a 3-way battle for fourth position here on the racetrack today. So let's stick with it for a minute and see what happens. We're all discombobulated here today, apparently. Still getting used to the new stream setup too. Different equipment, all kinds of different things going on with the new stream setup. So just like anything else, it'll take a few streams and get it all locked in. It'll be sounding beautiful again. Okay, so Doug on the defensive going into the big bank corner here. UU is all over the back end of him here right now, and Hair Razor is closing in. Doug does have a half-second track limit penalty, so that's going to not be ideal there, as Doug is going to have to serve that next time around, before he passes his penalty serving zone here on the lap. It's funny, you know, I just moved into a new place, and I had to get renter's insurance in order to get into the new place. It was part of the requirement to get into the building. So, you know, I went and dealt with the whole renter's insurance thing, and decided to get earthquake insurance, because we do live in the Rocky Mountains where I live here. And I mean, what people don't realize is the valley I live in is essentially just a big long string of volcanic belts. So we had an earthquake here in the city literally 2 nights ago. It was a 3.6. It was just a minor little guy. It was you know, shook the ground a little bit, if anything, right? You know, probably rattled the glasses and plates in the cupboard, maybe rattled the pictures on the walls a little bit. But it was a very shallow earthquake, so I kind of snickered when I read that in the news this morning when I got up that we had a 3.6 magnitude earthquake, because I actually literally just got earthquake insurance where I moved in. So for those of us that are in the area where I live, for those of us that are local viewers and fans know where I'm talking about, check your insurance policies, because you know, it is a real thing, and it's something that can most certainly happen here where we're at on the west coast. And for Canadians to think that our west coast isn't going to create earthquakes like, say, California has seen in the past, just absolutely naive to think that that isn't going to happen here. We're sitting on a tectonic plate on the west coast here, and it moves all the time. So it is most certainly possible. So, you know, that goes to show for anybody that's doing insurance for their homes and their rental or whatever the case may be. really understand your geography, where you live, and what Mother Nature can throw at you in your geography, because insurance will not cover it if you do not have obviously it within your package, right? So not a lot of people where I live think about earthquake insurance because it's not something that happens here often, but it does happen quite often. It's just a very small, very minute, very low on the scale, on the Richter scale. But I mean, they're becoming more prominent, they're becoming more frequent, and volcanic activity worldwide is becoming more frequent and more volatile as well. So when it comes to the weather, so check your insurance policies out there where you are, and make sure you really understand your geography and what your weather can throw at you, because you want to make sure your insurance policies cover that. At the end of the day, Mother Nature and the planet is fighting back against what we as human beings are doing to it, and those forces that Mother Nature fight back with are very devastating forces: hurricanes, tornadoes, typhoons, earthquakes, tsunamis, volcanic eruptions. That's all the planet is fighting back against what we're doing to it. So the planet will preserve itself at all costs. It has done so over millions and millions of years, and the more we continue to do, the more we continue to fight back. So until we can fix what we're doing to the planet, we need to take care of our own, and take care of ourselves, and make sure that we're covering all ends. So check your insurance policies. Make sure you understand your geographical area. Make sure you really understand everything that Mother Nature can do in your geographical area, and make sure your policies reflect that, because I would hate for anybody to see anybody screwed by an insurance company and have a specific type of coverage. And at the end of the day, that's how insurance works, man. They nickel and dime you for every little thing they can. So just a heads up out there. Thought it was something a little ironic. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm aware that we have lots of volcanic history here where I live. But the one thing that never really crossed my mind was earthquakes, right? Due to that volcanic activity, because a lot of the volcanics are extinct and dormant in our area now. Right? I mean, they don't burp, they don't hiccup, they don't steam, they don't do anything, right? But that doesn't mean that the ground, the earth isn't moving underneath, right? So when I went to sign my insurance and she asked about earthquake insurance, my immediate reaction was no, until I actually sat there and thought about it for a second. When actually, yes, you know what, I think I do want that. And I mean, I'm a 6th-floor apartment building, so you know, if we get a good enough ground shaker, it can do damage to the building. You know, I would be screwed. I would be fully screwed. So we've got that insurance, and if it were to ever happen, at least I would be covered, right? So just something out of left field to throw at you guys here today. But you know, the world's changing, and it's because of what we're doing. So we continue to abuse and destroy and hurt the planet. At the end of the day, the planet is going to fight back. Now, we need to consider something, right? The dinosaurs lived for 200 million years. Finally, the planet said, yeah, your reign is over. Boom, annihilated them. Human life, we've been alive at best for 25,000 years on this planet. Okay, we have a long ways to go as a species to accomplish what dinosaurs accomplished in 200 million years of life on this planet. And at the rate we're going, we're not going to make 35,000 years as a species. The planet is going to annihilate us, so we really gotta smarten up. You know, we think we can stop it. We can't stop it. Can we fix it? We can definitely make it better by making better choices and let the planet heal. But if we continue just to hurt the planet is just going to end it. And life as we know it will end again. We'll be in another ice age, and it'll be, 7% of life will survive again, and that'll be single-celled organisms very deep in the ocean. So, believe it or not, whether you're religious or you're scientific, I mean, that's just the reality of it. All you have to do is go look at the planet's history. When the planet isn't happy, it fights back, and that's what it's doing right now. And it's doing that because of what we're doing to it. So just remember that. Let's try to really, as a planet, we really, as human, as a race, as a species, we really need to take care of what provides for us and allows us to live, because we can take it away as quick as they give it to us. Going to be no divine spirit that's going to save us all when it happens. I'm telling you right now, it's going to happen, and it's going to annihilate everything on the planet. So it's up to us to change the trend, man. Alright, so the race is spread out as pit stop sequences start to transition through. This is the normal part of the race here. We're going to have to let everybody get through their pit stop sequences to really kind of have an idea where everybody's sitting back on the track. In here, lots of drivers are definitely out of position at the moment due to these pit stops being made, and some drivers haven't made their pit stops yet, so that is going to change positions on the racetrack. And ultimately, how this race could potentially be projected to finish here. So we have Tap about 1.9 seconds in behind Ishmael here right now. Ishmael has pit, so has Tap. So that reverse strategy has already not worked out so well for Tap, as Ishmael now is our overall race leader, has made their pit stop. That puts Tap in the second place, and that puts Sheriff in the third place here in behind, but on the faster tire over second place. So he has a great shot at second place here still, but Ishmael now with a roughly 8-second gap on Sheriff. It's very tough for Sheriff to potentially get that first place, but he does have a shot there in second place if he can take early advantage of the good tires while the mediums are still good here. Doug in fourth position. We got Petrol here in fifth place. We got Junior in sixth position. We got Air Razor here in seventh. We got Supra in eighth. Bart in ninth. We've got Mike in 10th place here, and he has made his second stop. And we've got Ruben here in 11th place. So everybody should be good to go to the end of the race at this point. Now we have Tap is currently holding the fastest lap on the racetrack, and now as the rest of the drivers get on the faster tire here, we could expect to see that change, or he may hold on to it. It's entirely hard to say. But again, the drivers that took the medium tires later in the race are going to have a less fuel load than Tap did on the full tank of fuel, so it should, in theory, make them faster than Tap was on that full tank of fuel. In theory, not necessarily the case, but in theory, it sounds definitely the way it should be. Alright, so Ishmael here, I mean, this is his race to give away at this point. He's got a very commanding lead in the GT4 Championship at this point. One or two more race wins here this season, and he could probably miss the rest of the season and still win this championship. He's got a very solid grip on the GT4 Championship here at the midway point of the season already. Nobody has really had an answer for Ishmael here this season. We've got Tap here in second place. We've got Sheriff in the third position, and what a second taken out of Tap in front there. Doug is chasing her in fourth place as well. About 3 seconds in behind Sheriff. We've got Petrol here 4 seconds in behind Doug. What is that? About 2 seconds in behind Petrol head here. We've got Hair Razor 6 seconds in behind there. We've got Supra again really wide there. 10 seconds in behind Hair Razor. We've got Bard here in 9th position. 3 seconds in behind Supra. Got Mike 7 seconds in behind Bard. We've got Ruben about 15 seconds in behind Mike. So a little mistake made somewhere along the way potentially there during his race. I just set him a little bit back as well. Probably a little partial spin or a small spin. Wouldn't want to count for that much time loss in the race here today. So it is Ismail cruising here to a potential another race win this week. We've got Tap here in second place. He's trying to change that, but Ishmael is opening the gap up to Tap here. It's 2.9 seconds now. It's under 2 seconds just a lap to go. We've got Sheriff now within 3 seconds of Tap here, so he continues to tick the time away here on second place as well. So we could potentially expect to see a battle between third and second place, maybe even Doug Burrow at some point here. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out. We've got Yu and Petrolhead here. So Yu has got Petrolhead there. Petrolhead must have made a mistake somewhere, and around, and now Petrol is going to make his second pit stop here. That's going to put him down the field here. I'm not sure if that was a right call from Petrol here or Mike as far as that goes. The two-stop strategy here with the pit delta just doesn't seem to be working in their favor here today. hair raiser here now. We definitely got some space here on the backside of the field. Pit stops really spread the field out here. That comes out in front of Mike in 9th place there. He's going to have some work to do here in 20 minutes left in the race. He is going to be on some fresher tires than the rest of the field, granted. But for the most part here, I think that one-stop strategy is definitely the way to go here today. Out the fastest lap on the track as well, a 207.8, so about what we were seeing in qualifying. Usually race pace is either right on point in qualifier, lap times from the front end of the lobby anyways, or just a little bit slower than qualifying pace, but for the most part, when it comes to these Group 4 or Group 3 championships, race pace is usually at the top end of that qualifying pace. You see Sheriff now with the fastest lap, 7.7, so him and Ishmael kind of exchanging laps right now here on the racetrack to see who's going to get those fast lap points. Sheriff is now applying pressure to Bar here, to Tap, pardon me, in second place. We'll stick with this battle here between Sheriff and Tap here as it continues to develop on the racetrack here. So Sheriff is definitely tucked in, and I can't foresee Sheriff wanting to sit behind Tap any longer than he needs to. He's probably going to want to try and get around Tap and see if he can start to close back in on Ishmael. So let's just wait and see here. Very interesting defensive approach there. Just call it that. It seemed like Tap was trying to get the Sheriff to bite in behind, but the car in behind can move as many times as they want to try and make an offensive battle. The front defending can only make that one move going in towards the corner, so Tap was playing a little bit of mind games there in the straightaway. I think the Sheriff trying to get him to bite to take a line, so Tap kind of knew what line to defend. So because Sheriff didn't bite, he just kind of stuck to a mid-line defense there, and it was good enough to work for the time being. But you're going to see Tap go defensive here, and this is great going into corner one. But if Sheriff can hold the line heading into the next corner, it does give Sheriff the inside track, and unfortunately Sheriff couldn't quite hold that inside track, so it didn't give him the inside position to turn two there. He's just going to have to settle back in behind Tap. So Tap's doing a pretty good job so far fending off Sheriff here, but it is going to be a matter of time before we see the compound difference in the tires come into play here, and it may be this time around as we head in towards a pretty good passing zone here. You can see Sheriff is going to take a look up the inside here. It's going to force him into a wide exit, which will give Tap a response back down the inside there, and that's exactly what we're going to see. It's the same car here as well. They're both running that GTR, and Tap's actually going to get the position back on Sheriff there due to that compromised exit for Sheriff taking a shallow entry in, trying to get the position from Tap. So this is a good, healthy battle here for second place right now between the 34 and 26 GTRs here on track today. So we're going to continue to stick with these two here for a minute and continue to have this very hardy battle here on the racetrack. So there we go. The Sheriff is just going to immediately move over to the inside line heading into the Big Bang corner here, and this should be hopefully enough for him to be able to get the pass done. But again, we've seen that outside line move very strong here in this corner, and huge respect given between the two racers here. But again, Tap got just a little bit of a better run than Sheriff there, and Sheriff is going to have to settle right back in behind. This is not ideal for Sheriff. He really needs to work his way around Tap here. this out, because not only is Tap holding off the charge towards first place, he's also wearing down those medium tires on the Sheriff's car in behind, trying to get around them as well, which could potentially work out in Tap's favor at the end of the race here, because he will have more grip, in a sense, on those hard tires and the medium tires. So Sheriff's window for getting the job done here is going to close fairly quickly. So he does need to try and get it done as quickly as possible so he can start building that gap. We got, looks like Doug Barrow coming into pit lane here with 14 minutes of the race remaining. So Sheriff getting the job done into turn 1 and 2 here this time. But we've seen Tap respond every time Sheriff has tried to make the pass here. So let's see if we see another response come back from Tap here. We'll sit with this for a couple more corners to see if Tap can respond to Sheriff and put Sheriff back in behind. But Sheriff has gotten out in front here now. We should start to see that medium tire do what it should do against a hard tire here. So Sheriff finally makes it into P2 here. That was a very hard 2.5 lap battle between Tap and Sheriff here. That was a great battle for second and third place between the two drivers here. And I suspect it's not over yet either here, as Tap is not letting Sheriff get away. That puts you up into fourth place here now, with Hair Razor chasing about 6 seconds in behind. We've got Super there with a pretty large gap. Doug comes out about 3 seconds in behind Super right here, so he's going to have some work to try and grab position here. Puts the bar out in place with Metro in 9th, closing in. Mike here in 10th place as well, closing in on Metro, and a little bit off base there in the back in 11th place. Ishmael in control and continuing to make that gap bigger. Ishmael's race to lose at this point, as Tap and Sheriff still battling for second and third place here. So Tap is having none of it here with Sheriff right now. He wants that P2 back. He's definitely giving Sheriff the business here to try and get it back. So a very spirited battle between second and third place here for the last 3.5 laps around the track here now. I did suspect that this wasn't going to be the end of it, and we were most certainly right. Sheriff making sure he is planting that thing on the apexes right now. Make sure there's zero room on that inside track in the corner for Tap to stick it in and get a line in position. But it is costing him a little bit of time here on Tap as well, trying to make sure that he's parking the car on every apex. So this is kind of a hindrance in a sense for Sheriff, because he's not able to really truly break free from Tap right now, because Tap is forcing him to actually defend into the corners, where if he had, say, a half second or 3/4 second gap between himself and that 36 car, then he would be able just to start to try and push the car a little bit and open that gap up. But instead he finds himself on the straight defense here, and that is compromising his lines in a sense around the racetrack, and is going to compromise his time around the racetrack as well. So Tap is really giving Sheriff the business here, and this is a great race between these two here today. It's been clean. They've made no contact with each other all race long, and it's definitely been a battle of the two GTRs here in second and third place. We still got just a little over 10 minutes on the clock here as well. Who's going to win this battle? I mean, what do you think, Chad? Do you think it's going to be Sheriff? It is really a 50-50 on which one of these two drivers is going to overall take P2 here at this point. So you're guess this is leading line. You in fourth here, Razor in fifth. It's going to rip through the field here real quick. Really, looks like Petro's starting to pull on bar a little bit there, so might be a battle for 8th place here shortly. Sheriff found a little bit of a space between himself and Tap there, so there's been a little mistake made by Tap either under braking or on exit of one of the corners that allowed Sheriff just to get a small amount of breathing room. He had a car length separating himself from Tap now, as opposed to Tap being right on his back bumper. So I mean, it's a small collision, but it's a collision nonetheless. So at least the driver can take a couple of breaths behind the wheel before he has to tighten the grip up on the wheel and then go into defensive mode here again. So, but Tap is, I mean, given the business here, Tap ain't letting him just run away with this race right now. For second place, I mean, Tap is 100% making sure that he's keeping that 26 car right and honest. And again, going on the defense there, he compromised his line heading into the big bang corner there. Tap just stuck to the racing line, got a good clean exit out of there. It was a pretty easy move for Tap to make there. As Sheriff wide on the exit, he stayed in tight and got the job done. So now Sheriff back down into third place, Tap back up in second place here. And you doing everything she can here to try and close up and get involved in this battle. So I had under 10 seconds now. So. Let's go take a quick peek at what's going on between Bar and Petro. So there's now Tap and Sheriff here again as they head up the front straightaway on the start lap number 25. 7.5 minutes remaining. So we can see 4 more laps from the racers here. Sheriff is half car length right now between himself and Tap. We've had some good battling going on here throughout the race, at least. That's always a plus. We had a great four-way battle for fourth place that lasted a large part of the early part of the race, and now we've got the battle for second and third place that's lasted the whole last half of the race, essentially. Oof, a little bit of contact there between the two drivers. The Sheriff now moved up into second place there. Now got a little bit wide there after that contact, and that put him on the outside edge of the corner there, but he does recover nicely, and he's tucked right back in behind Sheriff. Battle re-engaged here again. So can Tap get back around Sheriff now again? This is a great battle between the two. That's the first bit of contact between the two drivers here so far, as they've been battling pretty hard for the last 15 minutes. And that way, we've seen anyways. It may have been more, but this looked pretty neat and tight from these two here so far today. Tap does get the inside run coming into the final corner there, but again, the final corner has, a couple of different lines there where you can really maintain your speed. Sheriff just holding on just enough there on Tap. So Tap's going to take a look up the inside heading into turn number 1 here, which is great, but again, Sheriff's going to have the inside track for turn number 2 here. And can Tap get the over-under going? It's tough to do it coming out of turn number 2 to get underneath another car to get a position down, because then immediately you got to move to the other side of the track to set up for the next left-hander. So a little bit of patience in some parts of the racetrack. If you don't get the job done in the passing part of the corner, you just got to settle back in the line and wait for your next opportunity. And that's exactly what Tap's doing here. He's going to settle in. He's going to use slipstream. He's going to try and see if he can make something happen here in this right hand. He does get underneath Sheriff there, and potential little contact maybe between the two cars there. It kind of looked like there might have been a little front to rear bumper contact there as Tap tried to just getting up the inside of Sheriff there. It looked like it was based off reaction of Sheriff GTR. Looked like he got pushed forward a little bit with the boost, so looked like there was just a small amount of contact there between the two drivers. But Tap's closing right back in again. He's going to try and re-engage again. It's a great battle here between Sheriff and Tap, and I mean, they're stealing the show here right now in this race, that's for sure, but there ain't nothing else really happening on the racetrack. Petrol has gone under the bars. We did unfortunately miss that. I wasn't paying close enough attention there, unfortunately, but I mean, we got a spicy battle here for the podium right now, so it's hard to leave this fight on the racetrack to go look at the battle for eighth place. So we're going to stick with this P2, P3 battle here. This may take us right to the end of the race. It's hard to say, but it is a feisty Tap came in, tried to reverse strategy, tried to start on the mediums and finish off on the hards here. That didn't work out for him for the race win here, but still may very well work out for a podium finish or potentially even second place finish here for him as he is battling hard for Sheriff. So Sheriff is on the medium tire, Tap is on the hard tire, and our race leader is also on the medium tire. So Tap, our third place driver, started on the racing medium tire here today and went to the hard tire. The rest of the field started on the hard tires and went to the racing mediums. So Tap has kind of been fighting for position in his life here last half of this race's pit stop sequence because he's on a slower tire compound in the rest of the field. It doesn't seem to matter too much as he is absolutely grinding the gears of Sheriff in front of him here right now. I mean, it is relentless pressure coming from Tap right now on Sheriff, and Tap is doing a fantastic job on that hard tire, really maintaining the pace with that dying medium tire on Sheriff's car here. We're going to see, I believe, one more time around, next time around here from these drivers, and boy, it is close on that medium tire, I tell you what. Grip is going to be at a premium here for the right-handers for Sheriff right now. That's 216. I thought it was a 26. It's 216 car Sheriff. My bad. There's Ishmael out here. He is lapping Ruben right now, if I'm not mistaken. I just seen Ruben get lapped by Ishmael there, so let's check and see what the race comparison into the final lessons here. So side by side here now is Tap on Sheriff going into the Big Bang corner, and oof. It's tight racing here right now between these two. No driver wants to give the other one any millimeters of room on the racetrack more than necessary. So side by side, Tap does get the run, and the charge ahead of Sheriff there moves back into second place here. We're going to be coming to the final lap here as our race leaders come around. So Ishmael here is going to come around and start his final lap. See in the background there, getting a little bit rolling on the exit as those tires are starting to wear down on these race cars now. Air Racer up in the fourth place, so he's gotten ahead of Rad's UU. So Rad's UU losing a little bit of pace here at the end of the race as well. So Air Racer up in position. Air Racer very slowly but surely just crept his way through the pack here today and finds himself sitting in fourth place. It's a good drive from Air Racer right there so far today. That was fully necessary, but he definitely got out of the way of the drivers. Stop being a blue flag car. I get it. is Ishmael here for the race win. Congratulations to Ishmael here for a Maggiore GT4 win in the all-wheel drive classes here today. We'll see the all-wheel drive for a couple of more racing rounds yet as well. It is going to be tapped to hold off the charge and maintain second place there. So great job from the tap there. Does make that strategy work to his favor to some extent or another. Sheriff is going for a lot of third place. Air Razor, he was closing in very quickly there on Sheriff and is going to take the fourth place finish. Great race from Air Razor in fifth place. And Ruben's going to finish in 11th there. We've got Doug Burrow here in sixth place, so having to make the extra stop there in the race is going to take him into a sixth place finish. Petrolhead here also on the two-stop strategy here today, into seventh position. Supra will finish in eighth place. Boy, with Mike close in behind position. And that puts Barr as our last car to cross the start-finish line here today in 10th position. Alright, so it is a race win for Ishmael. And again, our championship points leader just stacking up the points here. Fastest lap does go to Sheriff Doofy with a 2:07.787, but it is Ishmael in first, Tap in second, Sheriff in third, Hairraiser in fourth place, UU in fifth, Doug Barrow in sixth place, Petrolhead in seventh, Superboy in eighth, be Mike 1972 in ninth place, Bar 27 in 10th position, and Ruben in 11th place. So great job to all the racers here today from the GTRC. All right, great stuff here coming from our GTRC guys and gals. So we're just going to move screens here. We're just going to go do some recap. We're not doing podium interviews today because I need to get back into the rhythm, and we're, like I said, we're still sorting out some audios here on the stream as well, so we're gonna hang tight on that. But what a great race today! I mean, we haven't been in the booth for the GTRC for 3 or 4 months now. It seems like since the fall. Anyways, we started the championship seasons off in the GT4 for round 1, and then we haven't been back until I think this is round 5. Tires died and ran out of fuel. Oof, gotta love that. But great race. I mean, there was lots of great battling all throughout the field all race long. I mean, we had that 4 to 6 way battle for fourth place there for the first like 20 minutes of the race, and then things kind of settled down a little bit. We hit the pit stop sequence, and then everything kind of kicked back off again. But the action was for second and third place between Tap and Sheriff Doofy, and I mean essentially a 20-minute battle between those two drivers. But Tap managed to finally come out on top of that battle and secure that P2 with the reverse strategy here today. So that was a pretty good race there today. Lots of great battles going on the racetrack. We had drivers with different varying pit strategies, and the pit strategies definitely made a difference here today as well in the race. But congratulations at the end of the day to Ishmael, our current championship points leader, to Tap and Sheriff Doofy for their first, second, and third place finishes this weekend. The GTRs looked very strong here today at Maggiore, and I'm not surprised. Again, the GTR, one of the stronger all-wheel drive cars in the class as well. But that doesn't mean that they're going to be the stronger car moving into the next round, depending on the track that the cars are racing on. They are big, heavy cars. They're designed for speed, and a low-speed technical track is not going to be ideal for that GTR. So it's going to be interesting to see how the next couple rounds of all-wheel drive only cars work out here for, well, half the field that have opted to take that Nissan GTR here in the championship series. So congratulations again to all the racers. That was an absolutely spectacular race out there today. Very sporty, very racy, and that's what we love to see here in the booth. We like to see the action. We love to see the decisions being made, and the good hard battling on the racetrack. So to all our men and women on the racetrack here today. Congratulations to each and every one of you for your finishes here today, and to our volunteer staff and behind the scenes at GTRC. Of course, thank you for your time and efforts to continue putting on these great events here at the Gran Turismo racing community. And thank you to you guys and gals, the viewers, for coming in, hanging out, and watching the race with us here today. We're going to be live streaming a lot more here now, moving into the future, as we're starting to get the setup all fine tuned in, and we've got lots of different kinds of games to put out there for everybody. So be looking for announcements for one-off events and different platforms. Continue to keep your eye on the Discord server for when our next commentaries are coming up and next racing events are coming up here from GTRC. We appreciate you all. Thank you all for tuning in today. It was a blast to be back here with our Gran Turismo racing community racers and in the booth watching them put it all on the line on the racetrack. Great stuff here from the Group 4 Championship. It will be our Mazda Miata secondary championship next weekend here from the Gran Turismo racing community. And it's GT45 Gaming signing off for now. Remember, you all matter. Stay winning. And don't forget to donate to St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital via the Paul Bloomstrom fundraising effort at GT45 Gaming and Nolander Gaming. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. We'll catch y'all on the next one.